Hello all, this is Chris from Props 3D, and today we'll be making these 8-bit animated pixel matrix displays. This video was originally inspired from a YouTube channel called Brainy. There's a link to the video in the description below, and I wanted to simplify it enough that it is something you could do very easily at home and something I could do with my kids. So I've done 5 different versions of this display. We have Zelda, followed by Bubble Bobble for my wife, a generic 8-bit awesome character set, one with the original Pokemon starters, and one with the later generation Pokemon starters. The code for all of these can be found in the Props 3D GitHub. There's a link in the description, and at the end I'm going to show you how you can code your own pixel matrix. So here's all the materials we'll be using for this project. The first thing you're going to need is some 8x8 shadow box frames. You can buy these from Michael's for 3 for $20. There's a lot of other things that'll work as well. Or heck, you can even just use a 3D prints raw, but they're actually designed to fit in here, and then we'll be using them for the build. Next is the 3D printed parts, which you can get from my Thingiverse page in the link below. A 8x8 matrix. These are all addressable LEDs. You can get this off of eBay or AliExpress. I'll include a link in the description as well, but they're pretty ubiquitous. The next is a 5-volt adapter. This should be at least 2 amps if you're going to use a lot of the lights at the same time. A 5.5mm barrel jack. A 10x15mm toggle switch. 2 4x20 cap head bolts. And finally, some diffusion material. You can buy this from pretty much any art or hardware store in large sheets. I got this from Michael's in a huge sheet, which you'll see shortly, for about $1. The last thing I forgot to mention, wire. It's so ubiquitous, I always forget about it. So the first thing we're going to do to get this started is to do the worst part first, which is the soldering. There's only a little bit required for this, but you do got to get it right. So let's cut this open and take a look at the wires. We'll keep it on the package. How this works is really simple. You have a digital in and a digital out. We don't care about the digital out, but the in essentially starts from one end and goes all the way back and forth, all the way to the end, and tells the lights when to light up and what color. Next, we have 3 power lines, 3 grounds and 3 positives. If you just wire one of the positives and one of the negatives right in the beginning, what'll happen is it'll get progressively dimmer as you go across. So what we're going to do is chop off these 2 top connectors. They are now garbage, and split these wires up. So this D out is digital out. We actually don't need that because all we need is the in. So to save a little space, we're going to spin it off, and boom, off it goes. Next, we're going to take the digital in, and we are going to give it a little strip like that. Then we're going to take the 3 ground wires, 1, 2, and 3, and pull them until they are all together, and then cut them off at all the same height. Now we're going to adjust the clippers to around, there it goes, to around 12 millimeters or so, and then we're going to cut these all this way. 1, 3, and then we're going to take these and wrap them all together. The trick to wrapping wires is to get them all at exactly the same height, pinch them together in a triangle, and then start right at the base and go up from there. Make it nice and tight. Then we're going to do the same with the 3 positives. And we're going to take them together. Hold on. Oh, we didn't cut the positives to the same height. Haha, I'm sorry. There. So we got these together, a little bit chopped off that, and we can set it aside and go to our wire. So the next thing we're going to need is to get a tiny piece of wire, about 2 centimeters long, and that is going to go from our positive terminal to the switch. Then we are going to need some roughly 6 centimeters. I mean, you can go longer, it doesn't matter. And this is to our Arduino, positive, negative. Now we need, oh, the positive goes to the switch, the negative goes directly to the terminal. That you'll see when we solder it. Now I'm going to need positive, negative, and signal. I always use yellow for signal, and those ones are going to be a little longer. Give them a chop, and then set this back to 5 mil, and I will lay these out. We have our negative, positive, and signal wire for the matrix, our negative and positive for the Arduino, and finally our switch wire. Now let's go outside and solder this up. First thing we're going to do is solder the negative to the pixel matrix. Now I've already tinned the wires in advance. I suggest you do the same. It just makes it easier. Now drop on a little heat shrink. And now for the positive wire. And the signal wire. Now to hit the heat shrink with the blowtorch. You can use a soldering iron as well, just the blowtorch is faster. Now for the power jack and the on-off switch, make sure the on is facing up. Keep the positive terminal of the jack facing towards the switch. The positive is the shorter terminal. Then we can just put the little wire in. And the positive wire to the Arduino and the positive wire to the pixel matrix, those are going to be soldered to the same terminal. Just kind of got to balance it there. Same with the negative. You want the negative from the matrix and the negative to the Arduino on the same terminal. And finally, we're going to tin the ports for the Arduino. We want D2, ground, and VIN. Solder the wires in place. I just heat it from the back and push it through. Nice and easy. I forgot to tin the wires in advance. And there it is, all done up and ready to go. First thing we got to do is grab a USB cable. So after, Salacious Crumb, be my guide. Plug this into here. Whoa, good enough. Into the computer. Then go to the Props3D GitHub at github.com/props3D. Click on repositories. Find the pixel matrix. It's private here, but it'll be public by the time this video goes live. Click on code, download zip. The only external library you'll need for this is the Fast LED library. Go to Tools, Libraries, and then search for Fast LED. You'll see here I already have it installed, but if I didn't, there would be an install button over here. So just make sure that's installed. Then go to your Tools, Port, make sure the correct port for your Arduino is selected, and then simply upload it. And that's it, we're done. Let's unplug it and go back downstairs. All right, now we got all this soldered up and coated up. The last thing we got to do is put it together. Oh, one teeny little thing I forgot. Securing the Arduino in there. You could just theoretically tape it in there, but there's actually a couple of little screw holes in here. And grab some tiny little screws. Here, I'll throw them on there so you can see them too. 1, 2, 3. The fourth one's going to be used for finding the right screwdriver. Which I believe is this. Oh, good guess. Oh, that's tiny. They're so tiny. There, that should hold it in place. Put that on and throw that lightly on there. We're not going to attach it yet, but there's another step. And now for the fun part. Get to cut these open. So we are actually going to use this back quite a bit. Pop it out. Keep the rest exactly as is. And what have I got? Yes, I know this is a cutting mat, but I like it looking good. And the old big old sheet of diffuser material. I know I got a bunch of cut, but I want to show you how it's done. Just give her a zip. Whoa. And slide that off. And one piece of diffuser. So I'm going to take 2 of these. So I got a bunch cut. I don't see the point in doing both. 1 and 2. Depending on the diffusion material, you may need more, you may need less. And now, I'm going to put that aside. We're going to use this piece again. So the first thing we're going to need to do to prep this is to tear off this tab. It is really stuck on there. So grab it with some pliers and gently, but firmly, remove it. You can actually just peel that crap off. Nobody's going to see it anyway. So the next thing to do is to mark off the frame just slightly inside. So there. Get my trusty right angle. And then keeping it on the inside, mark 1, and then mark 2. Then laying this on this way, going to mark off where all the wires are. So 1, 2. Keeping a wide margin. So I'm going to go and mark off all these lines. 1. I don't know why I always count everything. Roughly about there, I think, gives me a nice margin. Go all the way across that. And then we are ready for the bandsaw. Oh, that is way too high. I like my fingers where they are. Then, next part's very easy. Take a little knife, score the 3 lines, and snap it off. Finally, slide this in behind. And flip her over. Oh, hold on. You don't want to quite do it. You want to put the screen on first here. Push it all in. Goes firmly back. There is one little nuance I forgot here. And that does require the pliers, which I just had. There they are. And that is, these posts are way too high. So just grabbing the pliers, and our fingers gently, and I mean gently, you can break these things. Just bend them down flat. Hopefully that's enough. Come on, a little more. There. I'm going to tighten that nut. There, nice and tight. Then this one. Gently, gently. You can very easily snap the switch. Flatten that down, making sure you also don't poke yourself, so those wires tend to stick out. And then gently flatten that out. There. Now, should be able to put this on. And there we go, 1 pixel matrix display. Last thing we gotta do, oh, there's 2 last things, but the last minimalistic thing you gotta do before turning it on, take that, push it in, and now fold these down, hold it in there. And this is the minimalistic, there's another way of holding it on, just give me a half sec. Let's give her a try. Nice, it's working. So that is the minimalistic pixel matrix display, but I'm going to show you one more step. You may have noticed we didn't use those bolts, and we still have that jig. I'm going to get this, I'm going to get our screws, and a drill. We're going to get an M3.5 bit, and then, this is very important, get some tape. So take a little bit of tape, the depth of the screw, and then you got yourself a poor man's depth gauge. Now, using this as a guide, then I'm going to run the screw in first. There we go, nice and tight. Same on the other side. Again, this is optional, but I find it is way too floppy without it. And there you go, one easy to make, easy to use pixel matrix display. I hope you had fun with this video, and I really hope you'll get around to making one of your own. Remember, the links to everything you need are down in the description. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll consider giving it a like and subscribing. And if you do want to learn how to code your own, I will show you right after, well, after nothing. Let's go. So the first thing we got to do is go to sourceforge.com and download LCD Image Converter. This will let us take our graphics and turn them into something our pixel matrix can use. So let's open that up. Second thing we got to do is from the Props3D GitHub is download and open the pixel matrix blank file. This is a file that just has 2 characters in here that with nothing included for you to load code into. So going to LCD Image Converter, let's go to File, New Image. Then we go to Image, Import. Let's do the classic Bagman graphic. Let me go to Options, Conversion, select Color from the type, go to Image, and make sure it's 24-bit, and then go Show Preview. Copy this, and then paste it into a notepad file. Now go OK, and then go to Backwards, and then Show Preview again, and copy that. Remember that the pixel matrices go forward, backward, forward, backward, forward, backward. So what we're going to have to do is interleave these lines. So on the forward lines, go and delete every second one, leaving the first one. And on the backwards one, delete the first line and then every second line after that. Now cut that line and then interleave them. There. Now we're going to copy all that. Go to Config and paste it in the gap on my character A, frame 1. Then we're going to repeat the process with the second animation frame for Bagman. Now we're going to paste that into frame 2. And then, just for expediency, we're going to erase the second character. That is from here down to here. And conversely, you can keep pasting more in. You can do as many as you want. You probably can do 50 before you even start to fill out the memory on the Arduino. So now we're going to go to the initialization, and then we're going to erase the second character. And now just simply click Upload. And there you go. Just that easy. Take care all, and I'll see you in the next video.